Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Marincess Yugioh deck profile for December 2022. I would say Marincess are one of the more fun, competitive Cyberse decks we have available at the moment. Salmon Greats are definitely a close second to me currently. I mean, they'll always be my favorite fun deck to use, but just being able to use different decks at locals, been testing out Marincess, and still loving the deck for its playstyle as a whole. Being a true water attribute deck, can focus on a lot of control options and options in the extra deck to go into with all the different water monsters we run. And some of the changes I've made since the last update to the deck have definitely, motivated me to make one more deck profile update for the year, and maybe we'll see some more Marincess support the following year. And if we do, maybe some new link monsters or main deck monsters, or maybe even a new spell would definitely help. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the Marincess main deck monsters, I am running 3 copies of Marincess Seahorse. You can special summon it from your hand to a zone a Marincess link monster points to. You can only special summon it once per turn this way, and during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard to special summon 1 water monster from your hand to a zone a Marincess link monster points to. You can only use this effect of Seahorse once per turn, but being able to just easily special summon it from the hand when you go into one of your Link 1 Marincess monsters, or even just banish it the following turn to get a special summon from your hand, can continue any of your Link plays you may want to go for. I also run 3 Blue Tang. This one's one of your go-tos for the setup. When it's normal or special summon, you can send 1 Marincess monster from your deck to the graveyard. This can set up the Seahorse for that play I just spoke of before. And when it's used for the link summon of a water monster, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 excavated Marincess card from them. So you can add your go-to trap, Marincess Wave, or any of the Marincess spells that we run in the deck as well via this search. So it's a definite 3 of, just so you always have this go-to starter to use. I also run 3 Marincess Spring Girl. You can banish 1 Marincess monster from your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. If it's sent to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a water monster, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of Marincess monsters you control. And if a Marincess was sent to the graveyard by this effect, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each Marincess card sent, giving you more of a burn option against your opponent, but still an easy special summon by just banishing a Marincess monster. And for the fact that Blue Tang and Spring Girl are both level 4, if need be, you can go into some rank 4 options in the extra deck just using these cards if you want to go for a link summon. For some of the lower numbers, I also run 2 Marincess Pascalis. If it's normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 Marincess monster from your hand in defense position except for Pascalis. And during the main phase, except the turn was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard to target a Marincess spell trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You only run 1 copy of the Marincess Wave, but being able to at least add it back to our hand via a recycle power with our Pascalis always comes in handy. And this is just another way to go into rank 4 plays, or just get 2 monsters out to go into your link 2 plays. The last of the Marincess monsters I run is just the 1 Marincess Sleepy Maiden. With this card, you can target a Marincess card you control, special summon this card from your hand. If you do, it gains this effect. While this card is in the monster zone, the targeted card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to target a Marincess Link monster you control, and equip it with a Marincess Link monster. This comes in handy with cards like our Aqua Argonaut for the option of having the many different Marincess cards equipped onto it, which also come in handy with our field spell, our Marincess Battle Ocean. For the rest of the monsters in the main deck, I am running a pretty big trap lineup, or hand trap lineup. So 3 Ash Blossom and 3 Nibiru, just for the tribute option with Nibiru, with everything going on now in the current format. Ash Blossom being able to stop searches by not even having to go to the graveyard, just being able to discard it. So if your opponent uses cards like Dimension Shifter and you have a banish on the field, especially with cards like Macros Cosmos and Dimensional Fisher all being at 3 again. And also the 2 Effect Veiler and also the 2 Droll and Lockbird. If you didn't want to run as many hand traps, you could substitute in some of these cards with increased numbers. You can put Pascalis to 3, Sleepy Maiden to 2, and even go for more of an option with cards like Tangerine, the orange Marincess card, as an additional card to take out for one of the other hand trap spots. That is it for the main deck monsters. Moving on to the spells, I run 1 Marincess Battle Ocean. This is the card that equips on the many different Marincess Link monsters to your monsters every time you summon out a monster. Giving you those equips onto them definitely do help, because all Marincess monsters you control gain 200 attack, and also each one gains 600 attack for each Marincess card equipped to it. So with it, the more Link monsters you make, the more you can equip onto those cards as well. And also it is searchable with our Marincess Sea Angels. That's why why we only need the 1 copy of it in the deck. I also run 3 Marincess Dive. I activate one of the following effects for the rest of the turn. After this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except for water monsters. You can target 1 non-link Marincess monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if Battle Ocean's in the field zone, you can special summon 1 Marincess from your deck. So if you have your field spell already set up, you can use this card and then just get an easy special summon from your deck onto the field. I thought of running 2 of this card. It's more of a situational lineup card, just because you have to have some of that set up already to use with your graveyard, and you need those Marincess monsters to do so, but I'm still happy with the 3 of that I currently run in the deck. For more search power, I'm also running the 3 Signet Mining, just great search and setup, just being able to send a card from our hand to the graveyard to add a Cyberse monster. Most of the time I go for the Blue Tang search if I already have Blue Tang, Seahorse, or Spring Girl, since I can set up another Marincess for the banish off of Spring Girl using this card also. I also run the 2 Pot of Desires just for more draw power in the deck. Plenty of 3 ofs as well for a good majority of our cards, and for the 1 ofs that we do run, you can easily add this card to your hand via just 1 Marincess normal summon, link summon into our Sea Angel, get that search, and then you can use Pot of Desires and not fear hitting anything that was a 1 of in the deck. For the rest of the spells, I run 1 Call by the Grave and 1 Foolish Burial graveyard setup, once again for cards like Marincess Dive, and using the Call by the Grave just to stop my opponent's own graveyard plays or any of their hand traps to stop my special summons. And then for the traps, I run 1 Marincess Wave. This card is searchable, once again, so I really only need the 1 of copy, being able to send and set it up. And with it, if you control a Marincess Link monster, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, negate that face-up monster's effects until the end of this turn. Then if you control a Link 2 or higher Marincess, all face-up monsters you currently control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects till the end of this turn. If you control a Link 3 or higher Marincess monster, you can activate this card from your hand. So it's just an easier impermanence. You don't have to set it up on your field for you to use. You can save it in your hand and then activate on your opponent afterwards. And also the 3 goes in match. We only run water monsters for the good majority of the cards in the main deck and the extra deck, so being able to stop our opponent and locking them into a specific attribute is always good with this card. And lastly, the 3 infinite impermanence for more hand trap options alongside the Marincess Wave. Having 2 cards that you can activate from the hand is definitely scary, and your opponent doesn't see any of them coming while you just have your Link monster set up on the field already. That is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. For the Link ones, I run 2 Marincess Blue Slug. You need 1 level 4 or lower Marincess monster. If it's Link summon, you can target 1 Marincess monster in your graveyard except Blue Slug and add to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except for water monsters. You can only Link summon Blue Slug once per turn this way. So even if you just have your Seahorse in your hand, you can normal summon it, Link for 1, use Blue Slug to add it back to your hand, and then special summon it off of its own card effect. I also run the 2 Marincess Sea Angel. If this card is Link Summon, you can add 1 Marincess spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use Link Summon Sea Angel once per turn, but then you have your search for either your Marincess Dive, or if you don't have Battle Ocean already set up on the field, adding that to your hand. I also run the 2 Marincess Coral Anemone. With this card, you can target a water monster with 1500 or less attack in your graveyard, special summon it to a zone this card points to. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except water monsters. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target a Marincess card in your graveyard except for Coral Anemone and add to your hand. This can give you recycle power to use in the following turns for cards like Blue Tang or Spring Girl. Having that additional turn for another setup is very, very useful with the Coral Anemone search and just giving you a special summon on the field. And with your lockout of water monsters, it doesn't really stop you any other way. I also run the 1 Coral Triangle. With this card, you can send 1 water monster from your hand to your graveyard to add a Marincess trap from your deck to your hand. This can be the search for the 1 of Marincess Wave that I spoke of before, having your Link 3 all set up on the field for you to use also, and giving you an option with this card, if you control no monsters, to banish it, and then special summon back Link monsters that equal to 3 on the field, can give you your Blue Slug and Coral Anemone back on the field thanks to this card. So you can invest in your Link plays, and even if your opponent does get rid of this card, have a way to get them back onto the field. Marbled Rock for more protection and add back with this Link 3. And for the Link 4s, 1 Bubble Reef for the draw power and banish, and Aqua Argonaut for the spell and trap negation by using our face-up Marincess monsters that would be equipped to her. For the last of the Link monsters, just 1 Splash Mage being a water attribute, and another special summon way for our Cyberse monsters. And lastly, for the Xyz monsters, I run 1 number 4 Stealth Kraken, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Bahamut Shark, and then the 1 totally awesome 2 special summon off of the Bahamut Shark. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, like I said, there's a lot of combos you can do. Just being able to have the one Marincess Seahorse, if this is the only card you have, you can go for one Link Summon and then go for your Blue Slug. Activating Blue Slug to add this back to your hand. Then you have the Link Arrow to special summon Seahorse onto the field from that. You can go for an additional Link Summon, and with that, you can go for your Sea Angel. Activating Sea Angel, you can then go for your play, being able to add to your hand your go-to field spell, which is your Marincess Battle Ocean. And with this card, remember, with the Link Summon, and with that play, when you Link Summon a Marincess monster, you can equip up to 3 Marincess Link monsters with different names from your graveyard to that Link Summon card. So you can activate your Battle Ocean, go for an additional Link 2, with that being your Marincess Coral Anemone. You can activate the Battle Ocean here as well, giving you the play to equip both of these cards onto it, and then you can use Coral Anemone to target a water monster and special summon it to zone this card point. So you can go for the Seahorse and go for that additional Link. These cards will leave the field as well, thanks to that card, but then you can go for your Link 3 play. You can even just set up your Coral Triangle, because then you can use the Coral Anemone to add the Seahorse back to your hand. The field spell will equip all 3 of these cards back onto this monster, and then Coral Anemone, you can send the Seahorse to your hand, to the graveyard, to add the Marincess Wave. And then just with one card, you have the field spell set up, the Trap add to your hand, which you have the Link 3, so it can be activated from the hand, so it could just stay in your hand, and then all the additional cards would just be bonus. If you had the Battle Ocean, you could have saved the Dive in your hand to then use afterwards as another special summon from the deck to the field. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. Like I said, the Marincess are one of my favorites when it comes to just current competitive Cyber decks we have to use, and I still love continuing to use them. And definitely give them a try if you're looking to try out Cybers or even just a water attribute deck. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.